John, we know that the US had warned of a tiered response. This, of course, in retaliation for the deaths of 3 American soldiers in Jordan. Is there an expectation there will be more strikes in coming weeks?
Yes, Fauzi, certainly here in the Middle East, there's an expectation that there could even be more strikes tonight or tomorrow. There were 85 strikes in that first wave in both Iraq and Syria. That's the first time the US has ever struck both simultaneously. And they're now going after the militia, Iranian-backed militia, and they're also going after facilities that are run by the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard, who are the enforcers of the regime in Tehran. So there's been a first wave last night, and we're expecting the second wave could be any time.
John, while Iran is thought to be the master behind these strikes that we've seen in the last few weeks, it is not a direct US hit to Iran at all. So what's behind this strategy? What's behind these particular reprisal attacks?
Well, over many years in America, there's often been politicians calling for hitting Iran, strike Iran. For example, Lindsey Graham at the moment, the Republican in America, has sort of very strongly come out in very strong language, hit Iran. But it's easy for a Republican to say that about a Democrat president. But Republican presidents have also been reluctant to hit Iran. If you hit Iran, there will be a direct response. The US does not want a war with Iran at the moment. There's enough conflict in this region. There's 5 or 6 different fronts at the moment here near where I am. There's the Gaza war, there's the growing problems in the West Bank, there's the Hezbollah issue in Lebanon on northern Israel's border, there's Iran, there's Syria, and there's the Houthis in the Red Sea. 6 different fronts the US does not want a war with Iran, nor, it appears, does Iran want a war with the US.
At the same time, though, John, is there a nervousness in the Middle East that tension is escalating to the point of more conflict within the region?
Well, yes, there certainly is. This is, at the best of times, a volatile region, and there's so many different conflicts going on around the place at the moment that any one of those has the potential here to really ignite the place. For example, Hezbollah in the south of Lebanon has about 120,000 estimated missiles that are in the south of Lebanon pointed towards Israel. Now, if Iran decided to activate those missiles, that would, of course, dramatically escalate things yet again. So at the moment, I think the US and others are trying to contain the various conflicts that are going on in the region. And at the centre of it all, of course, the original one here, 3 months or 4 months ago, is the war in Gaza.
Now, separately, John, the US has imposed sanctions on 4 Israeli settlers in the West Bank. This is a first by the US administration. What's behind this move?
What's behind this move, I think, is internal politics for President Biden. The Arab-American vote in America, particularly in states like Michigan, is very angry at what they see as America's support for Israel's war in Gaza. Now, President Biden's in trouble in some of those states, so this is seen as a gesture, but they've put an executive order for sanctions on 4 settlers. There's about 600,000 settlers in the West Bank. The violence there is appalling. It happens a lot, and the idea that by sanctioning 4 settlers, then that will solve the problem there. Certainly here on the ground, most people who know what goes on in the West Bank think that that really will have very little impact at all.